Building a home office takes time, money, and effort. And for someone like me, it also takes a lot of planning. After sharing the home office makeover last year, I was very happy with a lot of the changes I made. Almost all of it, in fact. But there was one thing that always bothered me, and it was this wall. Everything displayed felt forced, and it just wasn't a good representation of who I am. The worst part is, it's the wall I look at the most. So I took my time and really thought of different things I could do and let it sit in my head before acting on it. My goal is to create a more professional looking office that is still inviting and a good mirror of who I am. As usual, everything mentioned will be linked in the description below. Also, I encourage you to check out my other videos because I think that would give you a better appreciation of where the home office is today. First, I had to take out some things that I don't want to keep in the new space. For this wall, the only thing I took out was the shelf above because it added too much clutter not only in person but also in my shots. On the other side of the wall, I took out the pegboard and the Keep Creating neon sign. Then I painted two walls with the iron ore color by Sherwin-Williams and left the other two walls as is, which is the glacial stream also by Sherwin-Williams. I wanted to go for something that has more of a neutral shade because I'm doing a double feature wall and I didn't want it to be too bold. Typically, I would not recommend doing something like this, but with my unique use, I think I can get away with it. The biggest addition you'll see are the vertical slats from the wood veneer hub. It really added character and texture to the space, and I went with the walnut finish, which I applied some Danish oil to help bring out the color and grain of the panels. The slats are set on felt, which helps dampen the sound in the space, so it's not just something pretty to look at. I installed 4 panels on the desk side, which I decided to wrap around the corner to create a more interesting transition. Then I installed 2 panels on the right side of this wall and mounted a 43-inch TV centered between the door and the vertical slats. This TV is the centerpiece of this change. It serves multiple purposes. I use it for media consumption, I use it as a second screen for putting up references and documents, and I use it as an artwork that displays whatever photos I want. I thought this was a great way to be able to personalize what's displayed depending on what my focus is for the day or the week. Below the TV is a Grove-made shelf which I kept to hold this framed photo of my wife and I and a couple of fake plants. I decided to move the cubby next to the storage cabinet. By doing this, it allowed me to have more space to move around in my work zone, and it also created a bigger area to move my gear around when filming. Behind the cubby, I installed some Govee LED strips to add some accent lighting. These Govee LED strips are RGB IC, which means you can display multiple colors at the same time. Typically, you can only have one color, but with this LED strip, you can have different color segments. This particular model bends really well and you can contort it to any shape, which is really cool. And just like other Govee lights, you can set different scenes, color, and of course you can create your own. This one is probably overkill for my use, but it's nice to have it in case I decide on doing something more fun with it in the future. On top of the cubby, I have a Grove-made desk shelf to add some organization. Typically, I leave documents here that I need to look at, like bills, contracts, and drawings. And on each end, I have my U4 Kanto speakers in walnut. I know this is not the most ideal location, but I think it's good enough for casual listening. For my desk, I'm still using my walnut sway desk from Ergonoffice. It's 30 by 60 inches, which is the perfect size for a desk. I have a matching desk drawer which I use to store my architecture tools, and behind the desk is this awesome cable management solution that makes my setup look really clean. On top of the desk, I have a large desk pad from Grove-made. This one is the matte version, which is actually my favorite desk mat. I would have gotten the medium size, but since I use this desk to have meetings with people, I just wanted more coverage to protect the tabletop. For my mouse and keyboard, I upgraded to the MX Master 3 and got the MX keys for Mac. I've tried several mechanical keyboards, but when it comes to work, this is still my preference. I also replaced my MagSafe charger with this Nomad Base 1 Max, so I can charge both my iPhone and Apple Watch in the middle of a workday. I am still using my 34-inch ultra-wide monitor from Dell, but I'm definitely looking at replacing it soon for something that is more color accurate. It is mounted using this Ergotron monitor arm, which is very robust, and it's definitely the best one I've used. On top of the monitor is the new BenQ light bar. It has this wireless dial that makes it easier to make adjustments to the light. You can use it to fine-tune the brightness and even the temperature. I've been using a light bar for a while now, and I think it's a really good way to reduce eye strain and glare, especially when working in the dark. Next to the desk is the neat filing cabinet from Office. It's where I store my files and drawings. On top, I have my 16-inch MacBook Pro, which has the M1 Max chip with a 10-core CPU, 32-core GPU, 32 gigs of RAM, and 2 terabytes SSD. Most days, I have it in clamshell mode, and it's set on a Grove-made laptop stand with the Rodecaster Pro right next to it. Behind my desk, I added 2 framed maps from East of Nowhere. I have one of the Philippines and one of California. It's very minimal, and it has this 3D effect, which makes it look super interesting. Both places are significant to my life, and it's there to remind me of my story and where I came from. On both ends of this space, I placed a Lyra lamp from Govee to help frame my shots. Then I added this fake plant, which creates this beautiful play of materials between the aluminum and wood. For my chair, I've been using my Herman Miller Embody in my gaming setup, while I've been testing this Duo Rest Alpha chair. It's a very interesting looking chair, but let me tell you, it's super comfortable and a relatively affordable option. It has a headrest which you can adjust the height and tilt, armrests that swivel and raise up or down, but the main feature though is the back support. You can adjust the width of it to conform with your back, and once you get that setting right, it literally feels like your back is being hugged and supported. You just have to try it for yourself. On the right side of my desk, I mounted this Geo wall light from Gantry. This light adds a warm glow to my work area, which feels really nice when it's dark outside, especially in the winter. I have it within reach, so adjusting the brightness is easy. This light is in the snow color, which blends in the background, which is what I was going for. Below the light is a deconstructed iPhone 5 from Grid Studio. This was the phone that made me switch back to Apple, and it's honestly one of my favorites. The changes I made really enhanced the feel of the home office. Each step was fairly straightforward, but sometimes those little refinements really make the biggest difference. Every time I enter the room, it always feels like I'm being teleported to a different space where work is encouraged and play is necessary. Having meetings here feels great, filming and recording here feels more inspiring, gaming late at night feels warm and cozy, but most importantly, it's a space I'm truly proud of. Stay tuned because as a part of this home office revamp, I built an all-black gaming setup / second workstation that I know you wouldn't want to miss. Let me know that you made it this far into the video by typing all black in the comment section below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you loved it, subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.